Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and today I'm joined by
Marcus Hurley
and Will. So I guess we could maybe talk about what's beyond E3 and or maybe stuff that wasn't there.
Sony.
Yeah, Sony definitely wasn't there. They have a lot of things to announce.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm sure.
But at the time of recording, I don't know when this comes out, but there's not even a state of play. So one of my predictions, not so much in the general predictions, was one of my confident statements was that, just like Nintendo have got their Direct, Sony will put out a state of play straight around the E3 time to keep up with it.
And I said they would wait. I said they'd wait for it all to boil down so that their news is singular.
Well, it feels like that's the only option left because at the point we're recording, with nothing announced, they'll always give a few days' notice. And with a few days' notice, E3 will be well over. Yeah,
the next thing is Gamescom in August. And then if nothing gets announced around then, they could do something at the Game Awards.
No, we will see a state of play, I think, late June, maybe early July. But they're putting them out regularly anyway. They've done
They'll
two.
Just do that.
But
they'll just do their own thing. I still haven't really caught them. I've subscribed to their YouTube channel, but I don't seem to
I've been
ever get
catching
anything through them.
more of the Nintendo ones and the Treehouse ones as well. They're pretty cool. So maybe Sony will start doing more stuff like that, as well as the direct stuff or the state of play. Maybe they'll start having like individual snippets based solely around an IP.
Well, the
maybe.
last state of play was because that was purely around that bonkers shit with Norman Reedus, whatever that's called.
Death
Plot
Stranding.
Yeah, simply not interested.
Yeah,
until they can show some gameplay and explain what the fuck it is.
They should have called it Left Stranding. Yeah. That's what everyone is.
Just left baffled.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I guess the giant elephant in the room is Google Stadia.
Oh, crikey!
And the announcements they made just prior to E3, although some people are rolling this in under E3.
I must admit, you say it's a giant elephant. To be honest, I'd put it no bigger than standard elephant size. Personally, I think you're more interested because you've got incredible internet, whereas I
have just recently had it made even more incredible.
We know, but tell the audience.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to go on about my broadband, but essentially, the Stadia Founders Edition was announced.
Yep.
And it's basically 120 quid, and you get the Stadia controller, a Google Chromecast Ultra, which allows you to take a 4K video input into your TV from the internet. You also get some kind of gaming package that will include Destiny 2 and all the expansions. And also, you get a pass that lets you give it to a friend to try out. And so that's all going to be $8.99 a month. But the big thing that the messaging didn't really point out is the fact that it's also going to be free. As in, you can buy the game and just play it. You don't need to have their controller. You don't need to have a Chromecast. You don't need anything. You can just buy the game on their platform and play it.
How do you play it without a controller?
You just plug in a controller.
What kind?
Any controller that connects to your PC.
Okay.
Or keyboard and mouse if the game can play.
Oh, you need a PC then?
Yeah, you need a PC at least. Yeah.
I assumed you could just do it through your
telly.
telly.
So maybe that's why the Chrome thing is for the telly.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you could just buy a Chromecast though. I think.
But then can I use my PlayStation controller?
I don't know.
I'm not completely sure about that.
Okay. So presumably, honestly, if you've got a PC with a controllable rig, you can stream through that. If you're doing it through your telly, you probably need to buy some kit.
Yeah,
the kit they
probably
offer,
because the controller. Because I think with just the TV, the controller. Yeah, because there'd be some sort of processing on the locally, wouldn't there? If you were hooking up to your
Oh, there's going to be some sort of shit going on.
Yeah, but essentially, if you've got a PC, a computer, you can play Google Stadia. You can play on that platform.
Okay, that makes sense.
But you'll need a gadget like the Chromecast to extend it onto other screens. Also, it's only going to work with the Pixel phone as well. Initially,
that's fine. I've got one of those, but I won't be subscribing anyway. So groovy.
Yeah, the free version streams up to 1080p and 60 frames per second. And it's basically
which I think will be
like
fine on the phone.
An entry level, stereo sound rather than 5.1. You can still play all the games. You don't get access to the additional ones, kind of like the PlayStation Plus. And you obviously don't get discounts. So it's kind of like that. By buying the Stadia Pro, you get access to that.
Yeah, but you don't. You could buy the controller and then upgrade to Pro if you wanted to. So it looks like there's a few different options, but the main spin that they're trying to shift at the moment is the Founders Edition pack. I think the overall messaging here, though, the overall takeaway is that it's a very low barrier to entry to gaming. If you don't have a PlayStation 4 or a reasonable PC, you can still play Watch Dogs on this through this in March.
Let me get this straight though. Xbox have a streaming service that they're pushing, and presumably you'll be able to do that through a dongle. You won't need an Xbox to do it.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think you can do it through the Xbox. I think you can also do it through Windows.
Yeah, okay. All right. Sony have PlayStation Now, which I think they're pushing and expanding where you can do that. You can certainly do it through the Sony TVs. You can do that. What is unique about the Google one?
They have got they've got better scale. They've got a lot. The Google platform is of a much bigger scale in terms of content delivery network. So, like the way that YouTube is pretty fast and nippy everywhere, the same way that Netflix is, they have invested in that scale.
Okay.
So,
haven't Microsoft got the Azure data services?
They have got something very similar. However, it's not built on the same tech. Google they think that they have solved the problem of latency.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. I'm waiting to see it actually running, but I assume that's the thing because they're not going for hardware. That will be where their investment is.
Yeah.
So whereas everyone else is forking out on hardware and boxes and whatever, they're putting it into their service. So I'm pretty confident that they wouldn't have gone to market with this if it didn't work.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just curious to understand. Microsoft were bigging up their streaming capabilities at E3.
Yeah.
Sony, if they've been there, will be pushing now. I know Sony, interestingly, I'm sure I've read, have signed a contract with Microsoft, not Microsoft Xbox, but to use their their Azure cloud services to push PS Now to new extremes. Because I know latency was a bit of an issue there. And it will be really... Microsoft are... from when it comes to cloud streaming at a business level, freaking enormous. It'll be really interesting to see if the Google offering stands above and beyond the crowd, head and shoulders above for long.
Especially since Microsoft are now consolidating the Xbox and Windows platforms as almost one.
But the key point...
Especially the way that the Game Pass is now... covering both. Xbox Live covers both.
And if they can get the streaming services at the same level, what does it come down to? The price and the exclusives.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, because Ubisoft announced that they're going to have their Uplay Plus on Stadia. So you could just play for Uplay.
Was that exclusively on Stadia or also available on Stadia?
I don't know if it's exclusive, but it's going to be on Stadia.
Yeah, they definitely announced that.
But as a third-party publisher, that makes perfect sense for them to be on there.
It does until you get to the point where you're paying £9 a month for Stadia, and then another £9 a month for the Ubisoft one, and then another £9 a month for the Electronic Arts one, for if you're going for that, and suddenly you're dumping £50 a month on something where you could have just bought the console and buy the odd game.
Yeah, but I don't subscribe to Now TV as all the time. I'll wait for things to build up, then I'll pay for a month, then I'll turn it off.
Fair point.
Get something else. That's how it seems to be working on TV. And the thing is, you could use the Stadia service for free and just have the Ubisoft subscription on it if you only want to play at 1080p. You know, if you think you can do with that, without the 4K.
You think I'd rather have a box and play my games at 4K and just buy the games I want at the moment. Like I say, it's going to be, I think, for the next couple of years until we see how this streaming service comes out. I'll be treating it with a healthy dose of caution. Also, I don't have your amazing internet connection.
See, that's the thing as well. You say about like Cyberpunk, that might come out on PS5. If I can play
8K, motherfucker.
If I can play that looking better than on a PS5, then with no barrier to entry, all I have to do is buy the game again. Come on. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Just about internet stuff, I don't really know. I mean, which is annoying because I do work with the internet and web stuff, but the servers might be fine. The streaming servers won't be fine. But could a choke point be your ISP?
You can get
those
overloaded.
Actual servers, like
you can sometimes get overloaded at the exchange, but that's why you have a ridiculous internet connection. What they're asking for at a bare minimum is 35 megabits per second.
Yeah.
I have 160.
Yeah, I've just done the test.
I'm not bothered about getting 160. What I'm bothered about is raising the minimum that I'm getting.
No, I completely get that. I had cable at my old house, and on a day when we had a torrential rainstorm, cable went down. Just because apparently it got waterlogged or something. And I would hate to think I've taken a weekend off to play a new game, and because of the rain I can't play it because my internet connection goes down. Whereas if I've got a box in my living room, it's good to go. I won't trust streaming until I know it's utterly bomb-proof.
It's fair enough.
I think the way I'm approaching it in my head, to sum up, is that I think it's something to be considered before forking out for new hardware.
Rob, you're an optimist. I'm a pessimist. I'll go for the bomb-proof solution.
Well, that's the thing. Rob,
Good luck to you, mate.
You're clearly what they call in development cycle as an innovator. You adopt technology relatively earlier, because that's why you've got the VR and stuff and everything.
I just sit the console generations out until they've matured to a point where there's games I want to play on them. That's generally how I've approached it. But, if they're launching with a really cool exclusive, then I guess I'll have to. Yeah. If the only way to play The Last of Us Part 2 is to buy a PlayStation 5, I'll buy a fucking PlayStation 5.
Would you via Stadia just subscribe to PlayStation Now if it was available on that as a service, though?
Possibly. If I could do it that way, I'd give it a go.
Yeah, because what is to stop Sony? What is to stop you having a single thing that you can plug into the back of your telly, that you can get Stadia through, that you can get Xbox games through, that you can get Sony through, and you choose between it like you would with Netflix, with Now TV, with Amazon Prime, and just swap between. That may well be the future of gaming. But you don't want to pay for all those subscriptions at the same time, like I do, unfortunately, with the telly services.
No, exactly, and it's going to get out of control. The future is subscriptions, absolutely. The thing is, and I think everybody wins here, and this is the other thing that I didn't get into earlier, but I will get into now, is the reason that Microsoft are buying up all these development studios isn't just to get exclusives on their platform. It's because they want to become a publishing platform over and above whatever fucking box they're putting it on.
Yeah.
That's the only way they will survive.
No, I agree. Microsoft have definitely... This is why they've committed to put everything on PC. They just want you to buy the games. They don't care about selling Xbox. They care about selling games and getting the money.
Selling
It's
games.
also why they resurrected Microsoft Game Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
They made
It's
a
all
point
under
of
that.
having the logo on there when it came up, didn't they?
Yeah, it's all about the brand, what kind of games you can expect from the brand, and Sony are doing the same thing, and you know that may well be why they've taken a year off, because they just want to see where the dust settles, and make their announcements when they're
That's
ready.
it.
You
They're
know,
keeping quiet. They're seeing what the competition are doing.
Yeah.
And it will be really interesting to see what they have to say when they have to say it. They've announced that the new console's there, and they've announced that this bit of hardware will do these things. But they haven't committed to only doing that. They haven't committed to anything.
No.
They've just said, our new box is going to be better than our last box. And it's going to be a very interesting year.
one would hope so. Yeah,
Like you said,
Definitely.
as long as Microsoft are doing it as a protectionist or not a prohibition, you know,
No, I think
as long as they're looking after these studios rather than being an arsehole.
That's it. Microsoft, I think, have changed tack completely since around the time they launched the Xbox One. They have realised what people want, and they are doing it.
Yeah.
I'm upset that they bought the ones putting out Outer Worlds.
Obsidian.
Yes, I'm only upset about that from purely selfish reasons because I'm not subscribing to Microsoft, but I can buy Obsidian games on my PC and play them.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I don't have to buy an Xbox console because Microsoft has said any of their exclusives you can get on PC. They are not forcing you to buy an Xbox. And I like that.
And-
Whereas Sony do force you to buy a PlayStation.
It's the one console future. Those first parties with their consoles, I think they will just become publishers, and they will publish on whatever platforms there are, and it will just be
It
streaming.
kind of was like that a bit, though, with the previous generation, where all the games came out pretty much on, well, a lot of the games came out on all three formats, and it was like, well, you just buy whichever one you had.
Yeah.
It was kind of I was left a bit lackluster with the whole PS3, 360 and whatever. All the games came out on everything.
Yeah. But Sony knock it out the park with their exclusives. But if they force you to spend 500 quid, 400 quid on a piece of hardware to play it on, and the others let you do it through a streaming device, they're going to have to respond. And that's going to get really interesting.
Well, that was the other part of the Stadia message, was that you buy the game once, and it works on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, on your TV. Anything that's got a screen, they will be on it. They will stream to it.
I get that, but the concern on that will always be, and if they stop doing the service, if the service doesn't work out, you don't have it. Whereas if you've got a bit of hardware and a disc, you own it.
Tell that to all the people that bought Destiny 1. Apparently,
Sorry, I don't get it.
that's not a game anymore. They switched the servers off for it.
Oh, that's just an online game. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But then, yeah, like this sort of streaming thing, you could think of this as like, yeah, just great for online games. But play Overwatch on it. There you go. As long as that will be, you know, as long as the servers are up for Overwatch, that will be a thing that you can play on it. Fortnite, yeah, exactly. Totally. What's it called? Transient
You
experience.
don't have to buy a new console. You pay £8 a month and you can play Fortnite as much as you want. You can play...
I tell you what, though,
Yeah.
I'd quite happily play Tetris 99 through my TV. Even the Battle Royale one. I just think coming home and just switching that on will be quite fun. Less hassle.
It's very relaxing. But that's that's why Destiny 2 is such a great game to launch with Stadia. It's pretty much going free to play anyway. And yeah, it's one of those online service games. It's perfect.
Yeah. But they put out Assassin's Creed Odyssey on it, which is an epic single player game. Now, if you're paying and you don't have a lot, if you're not time rich, but you're paying £10 a month, whatever it was, for it, and all you're doing is playing Assassin's Creed 3, which you can pick up for 20 quid now. Sorry, Assassin's Creed 3, what am I talking about? Odyssey.
Odyssey.
You can pick that up for 20 quid, and if you've got the console, that's it, you own it for life and you can play it at your leisure. Whereas if you're going to spend the next 5 months playing it because you're not time rich, you're down. It's that balance.
Absolutely.
It'll be basically horses for courses. But for me,
to be honest, I just want it all to come out so we can just see.
Yes,
because it's all speculation at the moment. I just want it to be out and we can see it working. And not just like for Stadia, all of it. I just want the consoles to reveal themselves, all to be out, and we can all just go, will our wallets survive?
I think it'll just be like Netflix, but there'll be like an advert on a website going, play this now, and you'll just click on it and you'll just be playing it. And you'll go, oh, this works quite well. I wonder what it looks like at 4K. Give it a 3-week trial, and then you'll be like, oh yeah. And it'll be like Netflix. It will infiltrate and you'll just never get rid of it.
Yeah. My Gmail is going to be absolutely annoying. My Gmail account.
Yeah, they're going to bring their weight to bear on this, and I see big things, and I think that's where it's all heading.
As long as it doesn't end up as the Google Plus of consoles or gaming, then I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time something Google's done hasn't quite worked, but
that's it.
I think they've been trialing this a lot and taking their time with it, and there's clearly a market there. They've tried it before, but I feel like they just weren't quite there yet with the tech.
But that's what I mean. It's like I want it to be out of lab conditions. Get it in the wild.
Like I say,
because the internet is a strange and wonderful place.
Like we've got Netflix, like we've got Now TV and the other offerings. I think
Amazon
we will
Prime
see.
stuff.
We will see the gaming offerings. Each provider, Sony, Microsoft, Google, offering it. Some of those films, games, whatever we want to call them, will be available across the services. Some will be exclusive. Netflix have a great exclusive selection. There's some stuff on Amazon Prime that you can only get on that. You can choose to subscribe to them all or not. Or you can go out and buy DVDs.
And forever along as well.
But if you buy a DVD, you own it. And you can control it if you've got a ropey internet connection. I'm going to behave like the guy with the ropey internet connection. I'll just buy them. Because the cost of the DVDs, stuff I buy, lasts a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could still be the best option overall is to have it locally. It certainly makes sense. But if it's going to be like, is the box you've got at home, is that going to be better than infinite power through an internet connection?
The unlimited power of the cloud.
Unlimited power! Yeah, that's the paradigm. And I guess this is why I think it's why they're doing it now. I think they think that they might even be taking a gamble scaling it, but I think they've figured out, they've cracked the code, as they say, and do it now before the next generation comes out, because it will be on the menu when people come to choose which console they buy.
I think they might have timed it right.
If indeed they do at all buy a console.
I'll buy the PS5, but I'll be keeping an eye on the streaming, and I may end up with both. We will see.
Yeah, it's about exclusives at the end of the day. If I can only play, like I said, I've said it before, if I can only play Last of Us on PS5, I'll get a PS5, But if I can play everything else on Stadia, then they won't be getting that much of my money. So.
That's the thing. But when you look at it and say, it's only The Last of Us, and I need to drop 50 quid on the game and 400 quid on the console, do I want to pay 450 quid for that game when I've already got a load of good games and I'm only paying 10 quid a month?
Yeah, that's totally the proposition you have to look at, which is why it normally takes a few games to be out for me to actually jump on the next generation. Yeah. I think there was at least 2 or 3 that I wanted to play straight off the bat as soon as I got my PS4.
Yeah. So, I got mine early on and there was fuck all out.
Yeah, they saw you.
I can get my PS5 and I can play my PS4 games and they'll upscale.
That's true. Okay, I think we've knocked this round the head enough. We've recorded for nearly 2 hours, so I think
it to death.
Yeah,
I think so. We've wrung about as much as we can out of this sponge.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that too.
I hope E3 next year is more exciting, though. To be honest,
just in general, it will be.
E3 next
it definitely
year
will be
full console details revealed.
It's got to be.
So we'll see
Yeah,
PS5
launch-
versus Xbox next year.
Do you think Sony will stay away?
No,
No.
not next year. They will have so much. They are launching their new PS5 next year, right? They took a break.
Okay, yeah. Stadia will have their own conference. Google will have their own conference.
I should have predicted that for this next E3 rather than this one.
Yeah, don't worry, I won't note these ones down.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point.
No, I reckon they will have some presence at the next E3.
Yeah.
I thought they might have sneakily got something short for this one, but they released it just before.
Yeah.
I thought they might have, like an enticement, almost like, we know you like all of this shiny stuff, but look over here.
They did a direct, because that's
Yeah.
the modern way of doing these
Yeah.
things.
It's lower cost. It's
And they
It
can
gets
just push
people-
it out. to
People
their
are intrigued.
massive-
It still spreads through the internet the same way,
Yeah,
and you haven't got to pay the extortion amount for a stand. But
exactly.
maybe they'll be in the car park next year, next to Devolver.
They'll just set up in a tent,
Yeah.
like in a car park.
It'll be in a giant Google Maps car, just scaled up.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to stop recording now.
Yeah.
On that bombshell.
Thanks for listening to the Not Playing Podcast, part of the Not Listening Podcast Network, where you can also find the Not Watching Podcast, where we talk about movies and TV, and the Not Listening Podcast, where you can hear Adam and Co. talk about all kinds of nonsensical nonsense. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for all our shows at notlistening.co.uk, and if you like what you've heard here, please do leave us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Until next time, bye!
With no booty, my friend, I'm inclined to agree, 'cause I suck. You suck. I suck at Call of Duty. There's no hope for me. I suck